We are live again on a Monday evening. We are live. Welcome back, everyone. We are live here at Temper Crypto TV. Stone, how are you, man?
Yes. No, man, I'm fine. I'm doing well. It's been a long time since we've had a show together. I think last week, I don't know when last time we had a show with the Crypto King.
Yeah, look,
Yeah, man.
yeah, you can
We had
feel it. I mean,
Shalenge. Yeah,
yeah. Look,
yeah,
we can feel it that, it's been a while. It's been a long time.
it's been a
Sometimes we
long
get
time.
used to these shows.
Yeah,
If sometimes you don't even do this show, there is
yeah,
something that you feel like is missing. There's
yeah,
something that you haven't done maybe
yeah.
for some days or for some weeks. You can feel it. But yeah, it's
Of
always nice
course.
to be here. It's always
Yeah,
amazing to be here.
yeah, man. There's so much is happening, man, in the world. The world is standing still, because of that man there in Russia. His name is Vladimir Putin. Mr. Vladimir Putin. Hey,
Look, these
that big country. Russia is, I think, is the biggest country in terms of land mass in the world. You know, so those people, man, they are causing havoc, man. Man, look at the coin. If you look at the stocks, look at the global stocks, the things that we are going to share right now on the show. Quite scary, but we're gonna go through it.
Look, these are big guys. They believe they can control the whole world. They
Yeah.
believe they own everyone in this world,
Mm.
and we can't say anything. I mean, we can't really say they don't because these are the theories. These are the same people who
Yeah.
are who are actually,
Yeah.
controlling this world, controlling the economies, controlling the social living of people, of the
Mm.
well-being of the countries as well. I mean,
Wow.
look at their influence throughout the markets, the economies. It's so big, it's so
It's so
huge.
big. It,
you
it's,
know,
yeah, at this point in time, it's the biggest right now because it doesn't matter whether you are invested in stocks, cryptocurrency, forex. Everyone is affected. Uh, Especially if you are living in Europe and in the countries like Russia and Ukraine. People they are fearing for their future. They don't know what's the future, what can be decided, because anything can happen from this level of things as we are looking at them. So, anything can happen, to be honest. So we're just looking for some answers, also ourselves as Empire Crypto TV, analyzing this story. You know. And yeah, man, it's mind blowing if you think about it.
Christopher, we sit there to get off saying, good evening, gentlemen. I'm in Orlando, East Soweto. A great show. This is because I'm learning a lot. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tiketo. You are more than welcome. We are here to empower everyone with this knowledge, blockchain knowledge, cryptocurrencies, trading and investing. Want you to be the best trader. The most thing you can do is please go on to YouTube channel, YouTube, and find Empire Crypto TV and subscribe. Once you have subscribed, every day, every time we are live, you can opt in. You can get that notification that we are live. Then you join us. Oh
Yeah.
yes, welcome everyone. We are live here at Empire Crypto TV as usual. Please say something on the comment section. Let's engage. Let's talk. Do ask whatever you want to ask. If you've got a question pertaining the blockchain cryptocurrency market, the breaking news that we always bring on the show, you can ask or comment on the section there. Stone, what's happening with the
Yes.
markets, man? We saw the market going down aggressively. What's happening? Must we be worried?
Nah, you know what? Let's just jump into it, man. I wanna just share a story, with the audience, with everyone out there who's watching, so that I can give a formal update of what's happening currently, because the situation in Ukraine and Russia is pretty serious. So I would like to share some information that I have that is recorded through a video that has been broadcasted just earlier on. This is yesterday's video. This is the latest news that you can hear from Russia. So just take a seatbelt and just relax, and let us just unwind on this situation. Will I? Can I?
Oh yeah, man. Let's shoot.
Okay, let's shoot.
Of a crisis. A couple of hours in that direction, thousands of Russian troops, tanks, artillery are on standby. And also, just a few kilometers in that direction, Putin-backed rebels control the region. Tensions are
What's happening? Is it breaking? Okay, it's coming.
No. Sorry about that.
In 2014, the Islamic State burst onto the world's
just just give it a little bit of time. Okay. All right, let's go on. There is it.
are high, and many on the Ukrainian side think that war is coming. But this is about more than tanks and troops and artillery. This is about power and posturing.
Like you said.
What's really going on in Ukraine? And crucially, will Vladimir Putin invade? More than 100,000 Russian troops and tanks have taken up positions on Ukraine's border. The US and its allies say they're ready to invade an independent European nation. Vladimir Putin says he's protecting his people, and it's the West who are pushing for a war. Neither side are backing down, as weapons from NATO allies flood into Ukraine to counter the Russian threat. And it's this tension between Putin and NATO that's driving this standoff.
The new NATO flag, marking the determination of the Western powers to defend their freedom.
NATO is a military alliance between the US, Canada, and the democracies in Europe, set up at the beginning of the Cold War to prevent the Soviet Union invading Europe. The agreement says that if any NATO member is attacked, the others will come to its aid. When Putin came to power in 1999, NATO had 19 members. Now it has 30. And some of those countries used to be part of the Soviet Union. Putin says NATO is trying to expand its influence over Europe and countries that Russia used to control. Ukraine is the latest country which could join, and NATO has repeatedly said it would welcome the alliance.
Each and every nation has the right to choose its own path.
So Russia says its troops need to be on the border of Ukraine, because NATO's expansion right up to Russia's doorstep is the last straw for Putin.
Мы что ли ставим ракеты рядом с границами Соединенных Штатов? Нет. Это же Соединенные Штаты своими ракетами пришли к нашему дому.
Ukraine is a country Putin has a particular interest in. Last year, in an epic 5,000-word essay, he claimed the two countries are, quote, one people. That's because for hundreds of years, Ukraine belonged to the Russian Empire, and for most of the 20th century, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union. But when the USSR collapsed in 1991, 92% of Ukrainians voted for independence. For the next 2 decades, the country wrestled with whether to align itself with Europe or Russia. Then, in 2013, it looked like the balance had tipped. Ukraine's government rejected the European Union for closer ties with Russia. This decision was met with mass protests, which spilled into violence and revolution, as Ukraine's pro-Russian leader was overthrown. Less than a week later, Russian forces seized Crimea, an area with a large Russian population. Then Putin sent more troops, this time into eastern Ukraine, to support pro-Russian uprisings, sparking a conflict that has killed more than 14,000 people and still continues to this day. All of this has led us here to this deadlock. Putin on one side demanding a stop to NATO expansion, the West on the other side demanding that Russia withdraws its troops. So this is about history, this is about geopolitics, and this is about Putin himself.
Putin finds it hard to de-escalate, and he is very pride-obsessed in many of such situations.
He wants to prove to all Russians that Russia is once again a great world power.
Putin will remember how his popularity soared after he seized the Crimea in 2014. And state-run news has been making threatening sounds on behalf of the Kremlin.
Мы введем войска в Украину. Это наша земля.
Это вот...
Хрен вам, вот вам, а не НАТО. Вот, вот прямо, даже не мечтайте, твари.
But whether the Russian people actually want a war is far less clear. And fewer than a fifth of Russians actually support reuniting the two countries.
There is no enthusiasm about war with Ukraine. It was not the case before, it is not now.
And Russian officials have repeatedly denied invasion plans.
We will not attack, strike, invade, quote unquote, whatever, Ukraine.
But Putin has proven to be unpredictable.
The reality is that none of us really know what President Putin's intentions are.
Both sides are backing wars with military might, and no one is backing down for now. The people of Ukraine hope it will be talks, not tanks, that decide the outcome.
All about the man, you know, all about the man himself, Putin. Can you see how deep this whole conflict has gone? You know, it's unbelievable. You know,
this is deep, right? This is deep.
deep.
This is going far.
Yeah, and it's affecting the market, and yeah, man, it's not looking as good as we want it to be, you know. And looking at the market right now, I just want to step into the market and then look at the Bitcoin. But you know what? There's some surprises that came just a few hours ago. If you allow me to just pull out these charts that you know we so much analyze in our daily shows, you know, it's quite deep, you know. And we're looking at the Bitcoin right now, and I just want to do the full screen so that you can have a clear vision. Just like I can say 1, 2, 3 hours ago, when I'm looking at the candlesticks right now, you know, there was a lack of volatility in terms of cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin itself, in the entire landscape. So all of a sudden, just 3 hours ago, a bullish candlestick just pulls out of nowhere. Look at that. It was flat, and then, you know, like, okay, we know about this trend. Downtrend, yeah, we are aware of the market just going down, you know, and stuff like that. But at the point where it reached 37,000 or almost just under $38,000 per coin, a bullish candlestick just pulls out of nowhere, and then it just shoots up. This is a 1 hour chart, by the way, that I'm looking at. And not only is Bitcoin, also the smaller coins like BNB, of course, that I observed this action. I don't know what it means, you know. Does it have to do with Joe Biden announcing his regulatory? I don't know. I'm suspecting, because all along, like, I've been seeing this lack of volatility in the market. I can also confirm other instruments, your Apple stock and stuff like that, but which I'm gonna go into. I just wanna also show you just the BNB, which is the native coin for the Binance Smart chain. Binance has they have their own blockchain, like Ethereum. Ethereum is a blockchain. Their native coin is Ether, you know. So looking at the
there's so much fundamentals that are pouring into the market. So you expect the market either way. I mean, with the Russian Ukraine situation which is unfolding, and of course with the Joe Biden's announcements, it's the market is volatile, man. There's so much news that are pouring in, so much for these markets to absorb. So you can expect either way.
Yeah. You know, the cryptocurrency for a new market is quite it's performing its levels, you know. And I just want to look at the coin market cap for today. something that I haven't looked into, since the day began, because I'm just looking at this bearish trend that has been forming. Those are your coins that are just trying to push. So I want to see this afternoon in Africa what the market cap looks like. Oh, then I'm at 1.7. Okay, last week Friday the market cap was the same 1.7 trillion, but of course we are in a bearish mood. Okay, looking at the Bitcoin, Ethereum, they are striving. Looking at the market cap as well, it's quite not so green, not so red. What do you think, man? I do think, like, are we approaching a level where we can say, okay, you know what? Maybe the situation in Russia has lasted its hours. Maybe it's time, maybe for crypto alone. Do you think crypto separately alone can it go beyond this fundamental analysis or these news that are coming out of Ukraine? Can it find a place where it says, okay, you know what, as crypto it can push by itself and has its own bullish trend forming, either unlike the stocks?
Look, by principle, the cryptocurrency market mustn't be so attached to the current situations that are happening. It needs to bypass some of these fundamentals that are happening. This is that's why crypto market, we say, is decentralized. It mustn't be like the stocks, the other markets, commodity markets, that are more attached to the whole scenarios that are happening, the whole economies that are happening. So by virtue that they are decentralized, the cryptocurrency market is decentralized, I expect it to behave differently. I expect it to, to go
Me too, man.
a different way. When there are this unrest across the world, I expect the cryptocurrency market to stand firm, to show its strength, to show its resistance, to say, you know what, I'm decentralized, I'm moving on my own, I'm not attached to the economies of the world, I'm not attached to the fiat, I'm standing on my own. This is what I'm expecting from the cryptocurrency market. But if we see a situation where you start following the normal
The
market,
stocks.
the stocks, and the whole traditional markets, it becomes worrisome. It strip that quality of being independent.
Yes, it does. I wonder what it might have costed, because a lot now, a lot of industries now have attached themselves with cryptocurrencies. Even banks are also using blockchain technology. Blockchain, apparently, it's a very old technology, or it's not very old, but it's older than Bitcoin. It's older than Satoshi's creation before 2009. Apparently, what I found out is that the longest blockchain running is not even Bitcoin. Do you know which is the longest blockchain right now? Look at New York Times. New York Times is the longest blockchain running. It has started back in 1995, before cryptocurrencies came into play. There were other cryptocurrencies that existed before, but they all failed because of inadequate technological inputs like the blockchain. But the longest blockchain running is not Bitcoin. The longest blockchain running, your clue is with the New York Times. The New York Times has the longest blockchain running. But anyway, looking at the world stocks hitting a 3-week low, oil rises on Russia-Ukraine fears. Commodities like oils, and gold, raw materials are rising in this situation. I don't know why, but okay, let's look at London global stock hit 3-week lows, and oil rose on Monday as worries increased that Russia will invade Ukraine. I'm trying to understand commodities and how they having this power, including the US dollar itself. Russia forces killed a group of 5 saboteurs who breached the country's southwest borders from Ukraine on Monday. News agencies quoted the military as saying an accusation that Kiev dismissed as the latest in a series of fakes. Okay, Kiev and the West fear that a border incident near eastern Ukraine could be used as a pretext for Moscow to attack its neighbor. Russia denies such plans. Okay, markets are on high alert for any escalation in the crisis. So everyone is on the standstill looking at the situation that is happening at the UK. MSCI's World Equity Index fell 0.4% to 700.11 with Monday's public holiday in the United States, which will keep Wall Street closed, thinning trade and adding to the volatility. And S&P 500, it's a holiday apparently on the United States soil on the Monday. Stock futures fell 0.66, Nasdaq and so forth. US stocks fell. The Kremlin made it clear today that they are in no rush for summit with Biden, said Tim Ash, Strategies and Blue Bay Asset Management. So a whole lot is happening. The US dollar index as well taking a hit, so many of it. So do you think that this holiday do you think like it has a role, do you think like it can impact the market for a day or so, maybe? Are we gonna see anything different tomorrow when things get back to normal?
Look, the market always respond differently, but of course, by tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow is a Tuesday, so hopefully the markets start moving differently, and of course upwards. But of course, look, the thing is with all these news fundamentals happening across the world, we don't know what's the latest or what's gonna be announced this evening, tomorrow morning, anytime. It's we are in a situation where we are expecting anything to happen.
Yes.
So at this point in time, I would, hope people, I would advise people to just stay off the market for a moment, before getting into some trades into the markets, because it's not really healthy out there. What's your suggestion? What's your recommendation? What do you
Yeah,
think?
I think you are right. So many countries. I'm looking at the 30 countries that are involved in NATO. NATO is made up of 30 states, and if one of them is attacked, it's gonna be war. Remember in 2004 when in 2001 when the World Trade Center was bombed, America seemed like was supported by some countries say, okay, we're going to attack Osama bin Laden, we're going to attack Iraq and so forth. This is the type of power that the United States and NATO they have. They have 30 countries but guess what? Out of these countries, Ukraine is not one of them. So they are hoping to take Ukraine under their wing. And Putin has a problem with that. And Putin is not part of the NATO. He might be in Europe, but he's not part of the NATO. And NATO defeated the Soviet Union, which was the former Russia of that time, and USSR and so forth. All these. But they are not, a part of NATO. So it's a critical thing. You see, you have Ukraine in the middle, and you have Russia on the other side, and you have NATO on the other side, and Joe Biden. And guess who's part of NATO? And one of the countries that is part of NATO and is the biggest country is the United States itself. They are the North American country, and Canada. They are the North American country, and the rest of the countries are European countries. So these countries are totally against Vladimir Putin attacking Ukraine, and they are seeking to take Ukraine under their wing as part of NATO. And Vladimir Putin is not having none of it. That's the situation.
So in this situation, it's we see inside the NATO 30 member countries. They have USA also, and Canada.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Ukraine is just outside, but ready to be adopted by NATO.
Yes, it is a country that seeks its independence, and and uh, and uh, and uh, Vladimir Putin says that they are one. You saw that video, like the history of it. It goes deep. It was once part of it, and then it wasn't a part of it, and then they fought for independence. It's all that back and forth. And then in 2014, Vladimir Putin attacked Crimea, which is a country that is just on the coast of the southern region of Ukraine in 2014. So Vladimir Putin is unpredictable. He can do anything from this point in time, and him being against NATO, and he has deep traditional beliefs about Ukraine being part of Russia. So, another thing that came out is that Russia-Ukraine tensions, people are wondering, does it affect the market? Okay, here's an analyst here what to say: is the stock sell off all about Russia and Ukraine? Is it just all about Russia and Ukraine? The current geopolitical threat is casting a psychological shadow over the markets and becoming an excuse for investors to resist taking on more risks, despite lower prices almost across the border. Wall Street is contending with the persistence of the known micro pressure points, like Fed agency to raise interest rates, which is next month, decelerating profit growth, elevated inflation occurring alongside the uneasing liquidation of the entire high hope, low profit precinct of the technological sector. If the stock's weakness is due to the geopolitical tensions, that is good news because it can be quickly resolved, says one analyst. I don't know. Do you think it can be quickly resolved? I don't know. We will see then, because I'm not sure, because the Apple stock as well, if I look at the Apple stock, some of the most major stocks are looking at the volatility quite low as well. Okay,
Look,
let me just...
while
Yeah.
it's still opening, I've got a comment here, which is from
Okay.
Lungile. Says, I
Yeah.
suspect mining firms fear the tension between Russia and Ukraine. That is why Bitcoin is bearish, because the BTC behavior doesn't prove the fact that it is decentralized. What do you think of this comment? I think it's got some some substance of truth in it, because like I mentioned earlier, that the cryptocurrency market must prove its decentralized qualities. It mustn't be so attached to the whole situations and economies. So what do you think? Do you think the mining farms, they're also very shaky of this whole scenario?
No, I don't, the entire industry is shaky, man. You know what this Lungile Tabane says. That is why Bitcoin is bearish, because the BTC behavior doesn't prove the fact that it is decent. Like I was saying to you, that it doesn't matter, whether you are in cryptocurrency. Also, the banks are using decentralized mechanisms within their banking system, blockchain technology as well, that they are using. But he's trying to emphasize that it is not because of decentralization that is causing the market to go down, but the entire market is affected by this story. So the mining farms story, the mining farms in terms of research, I haven't looked into that. I don't know much about the mining farm, but I just know about the overall market spectrum as we are looking at it right at this point in time. I'm looking at the Apple stock right now. It's also been taking a knock on a 1 hour chart. It's trying to revive itself, but it has that doji candlestick, but it cannot revive. That's the problem right there. But let's look at the US dollar. How is it fending against the European, the euro? It's trying to thrive, but the dollar is not as strong as it used to be. What do you think, Mr. Mapi, man? The dollar used to be as strong at this point, and the volatility between the two markets is quite high when I look at it in a 1 hour chart as well. And then also looking at the gold, the one that they are gaining, that have been powerful throughout this time. Gold is almost reaching 1.900 per ounce at this point in time, but now it has lacked volatility in the last few hours or so. I'm looking at the hourly chart. There's no much volatility within the gold and chart as well. But anyway, that is just how the market is perceived at this point in time. Do you want to add anything on that, Mr. Mapi, before I cross over to U.S. President's regulations on cryptocurrencies?
Look, the USD, the US dollar, people are losing faith on the king of currencies. You know, people are losing faith. Investors are losing faith on the currency. So from here, it can't get any stronger. Remember, the markets are made up of people, supply and demand. When people do not believe in you, then it means your value, depreciate. So people need to believe in you so that your value can appreciate. It's supply and demand, and if your demand is becoming less and less and less, it makes you weaker. So in this instance, USD it's losing value, it's losing faith, it's losing
Yeah,
belief from
even
major
the
investors.
creation, even the creation of stable coins, people are starting to trust more decentralized protocols, decentralized ways, faster and quick ways to get to make payments. And these stable coins that are one and one with the dollar are providing that that BTC protocol, that fast payment and the movement of money quicker than ever. So looking at the United States, US President Biden issues an executive order on crypto this week. Report this, I think it's today. US President Joe Biden is reportedly expected to issue an executive order on cryptocurrency this week. It will direct a wide range of government agencies to come up with government-wide strategy to regulate cryptocurrencies. I think this story has both sides. It has the negative and the positive. The negative being that cryptocurrencies will gain some trust eventually. People will start trusting cryptocurrencies when they see the government regulating it. And of course, at the same time, we can see a lot of cryptocurrencies and exchanges being evaluated and being taken back and forth about regulations, and that can slow down businesses. What do you think of Joe Biden's taking on this issue of cryptocurrency? Do you think it's too late? I don't think so. Or is it on time? There's the regulation that is implemented, and another happy to be regulated fallout from BlockFi settlement is a matter of speculation. So one of the cryptocurrency dealing companies says that they are happy to be regulated. The recorded breaking 100 million fine could mark the dawn of a new era for crypto lending platforms like BlockFi, as you see there. The settlement that they're speaking about, it might seem unlikely that BlockFi founder and CEO Zach Prince would describe a prosecution that resulted in a 100 million fine for his company as a win, not only BlockFi, but for the broader cryptocurrency industry. But that is indeed what he said, and he might be right, although it remains to be seen for now. It remains to be seen. We don't know what this regulation can bring. We're not sure what it can do.
Look, when we're looking at regulations, it's a give and take situation. The left hand, we are happy that when this market gets regulated, the cryptocurrency market, so many investors, institutional investors, are going to pour into this market, and that brings more demand of the projects, the the cryptos, you know. But on the other hand, on the right hand, we fear that the market will be controlled, so controlled, it will just be swept under the table and say, you know what, you are under our control now, you can't do anything. And as you know, these fiat systems, fiat capitalists, they want to make sure that nothing succeeds without their control, without their management. So it's a situation where we don't know where this will end or where it's going. It's a positive on the other side, but on the other side, it might be negative. The outcome might be negative because as they start regulating, it means now they start putting the rules, laws that favors the traditional markets, that favors the capitalist, where else this market was always good as a decentralized market, you know.
Of course, man. It was. It's just as good. But that remains to be seen. Because, but their move, of course, is made by after months and months, or even days of speculation, weeks and weeks of speculation. Of course, man. That's cryptocurrency news right there. But I have also extra news to add on, like to bring into light, um, based on what's happening in Canada. The protesters are moved out of Canada. There was protester anti-vaccination. Are you vaccinated, Crypto King? Have you been
Nah,
vaccinated?
look, look, I,
You do not.
look, I do not believe on that.
Okay,
I
everyone.
do, unless a gun is on my head or something else, but I'll not voluntarily go and say, jab me. It's not in
Yes.
me. Yeah.
Okay, Canada looks to end COVID protest with tougher financial measures after another weekend of arrest. There were truck drivers. They went, look at that picture, man. You just see a standoff of free people who are fighting for their rights against those people who are trying to impose them on getting vaccinated. So we are living in an age of chaotic times, of back and forth. In Russia, this is happening. In Canada, that is happening. So, man, I don't know what can happen this year, 2022. So far, it has a very rough start as we are looking at. Let's just hope everything just settles down to dust and it doesn't escalate into something that we might not welcome as a human race or species, you know?
Well, look, I was hoping that by this time around, anything to do with COVID-19 is starting to take a slowdown, you know. We see the UK also coming out and say, you know what, we relax all the COVID-19 protocols, you know, mask and the traveling ban and all stuff, you know. So I was hoping also, even in South Africa, we're gonna see the same, whereby we start relaxing. Of course, we have relaxed. You know, people are now able to walk around. Of course, they have to wear some masks, but they can walk around without limitations. So, but let's get it to the end. Let's let it finish and let's move on. Let's see what tomorrow holds for us. We have been in the cage for some time. Now it's time to continue, move on with businesses. There are so many people who need to recover from their businesses that went down. So it's a wild wait. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move forward.
Yeah, man, COVID is still with us, apparently, unfortunately, and it's causing big waves in other places. In other places, people don't just care anymore. But whatever happens, let's just hope all the best, especially the people who are in Canada. We are hoping that they don't get into a situation where people get killed eventually because they don't want to get vaccinated and so forth. And it's a major issue that is affecting the Canadian population. but let's see what happens. And it's chaotic, man. And yeah.
All right. No, thank you for coming through, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here at Empire Crypto TV as always. And tomorrow we've got a guest where we're going to learn about fundamentals, news, how the news affect the markets. Indeed, the guest is coming at the right time when there are so much fundamentals around, so much happening in the whole world. So yes, we're going to learn a lot. Please invite your friends, invite everyone, your teams, your circle. Tell them tomorrow is a D-Day here at Empire Crypto TV. Do not forget to go over onto YouTube and subscribe. Empire Crypto TV. Subscribe. Just go there and press the notification button also so that whenever we go live, you get informed that we are live. Thank you so much. Let's meet again tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.